Hello. So I know you're Victor, but can you tell me more about yourself?
Thank you very much. Yes, my name's Victor Wallace. I'm the CEO and founder of Black AI Coaching, and we're here at Consensus 2026 in Hong Kong
Sir.
to basically promote the upcoming launch of our cryptocurrency token, Black Global. If I can give you the 60-second pitch, as it were, and then if you've got questions, that would be awesome to go through. So the simple version, the short version would be, most people in the token space understand that 99% of tokens are narrative driven.
Yes.
They're driven by hype and frenzy sort of thing.
Right.
But that works to a degree. We've all seen that over the last 5 or so years, especially with the meme coin space there, that's entirely narrative hype driven.
Yes.
But the challenge, of course, is when the narrative, when the hype runs out, the token falls. We also know that's true.
Right.
I've been involved in investment in token space, the crypto space, for many years, and passionately believe that in order for a token to have a life of 3, 4, 5 years and beyond, it has to be backed by a demand engine.
Of course.
There has to be some mechanism attached to the token that creates demand for the token itself beyond its speculative value.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if we're honest, there are very, very few tokens in the world that have a real demand engine built into them. So in June of 2026, we are launching such a token. It's called Black Global, and the demand engine is we're bringing to market the world's first AI-powered physique development coach.
Okay.
Okay. Now, it's not difficult for people to understand what role artificial intelligence might have in coaching, because today, already people are turning to ChatGPT asking questions about nutrition. It's already a use case.
Yes.
Yeah. The argument, of course, is that ChatGPT is a general scrape of all the knowledge on the internet. And so if you were to ask ChatGPT a question about really any knowledge thing, what you find is sometimes it's right and sometimes it's wrong.
Yes.
And the great challenge, of course, is it hallucinates. Rather than saying, I don't know the answer, it will just make things up.
Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes.
This is a phenomenon we refer to as garbage in, garbage out. Right? Now, that presents an opportunity for businessmen like myself to basically create a curated knowledge base that sits as a layer on top of a GPT that basically says, look, we've taken the learning process a step further and become experts that leverage artificial intelligence for the advantage of the end user. And that ultimately is what our token is. So our authority comes from the fact that for 10 years, we have been the tip of the spear in coaching education. More than 5,000 coaches around the world use our intellectual property to train their clients in turn.
Okay.
So every major coaching academy in the world, from NASM, the National Academy for Sports Medicine, to John Jewett's J3 University, to even, you've probably heard of Derek More Plates, More Dates. He has a big following on.
Yes, absolutely.
Derek is a student of ours from 2018.
Wow. Okay.
So literally we sit at the top of the pyramid where all knowledge about coaching emanates from us. And my knowledge spans back 40 years in this space.
Okay.
So we're really the knowledge that has taught coaches how to coach. Now, 10 years ago, we introduced what's called evidence-based education to the coaching industry.
Sorry, what is that?
So what evidence-based education is you understand there's what we would call anecdotal knowledge. It's things that we discover through experience, right? And we've been doing this for 50, 60 years, yeah? And over that time frame, we learn how things work. We might not necessarily understand the science behind it, but we know it works.
Yes.
Yeah. So what evidence-based education does is it blends anecdote and experience with clinical literature. Okay. It's most prevalent in pharmaceutical use. So in the enhanced world, it has a very big role to play because it can talk about things like toxicity with application of androgens, that sort of stuff. So 10 years ago, our company, Black AI Coaching, we now rebranded as Black AI Coaching. Yeah.
What was it before?
Just Black Coaching.
Black Coaching. Yeah. Okay, all right.
So we have rebranded because we are basically the tip of the spear in coaching education, but we now bring AI to the coaching market. Okay. Now,
You're democratizing coaching for regular people?
Look, the principal motivation behind what we're doing is to educate young men about how this works at a price point they can afford.
Yes.
Because I'm just very honest with you, bodybuilders used to help each other for free. I've been in this game 40 years, and at most people used to ask to buy a magazine subscription. It was $5 or $6 or $7 a month. Everyone could afford it. Yeah. Today, it's gotten to the point where there are individuals out there that charge, as hilarious as it sounds, they charge $1,000 an hour.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's just beyond
Right.
the realms of young men to be able to afford that. Yeah. Particularly, and I will talk in a moment about our proof of concept that we've been running in India. When you go to India, bodybuilding's a big deal there, recreational bodybuilding. But when you talk about $200 an hour or $500 a month, it's just too much money.
Yes.
Yeah. You're a Thai national.
Yes.
I live in Thailand. We also know that Thailand bodybuilders is not a big thing in
No,
Thailand,
it's not, yes.
but that's too much money for
That is definitely
It's just, it's
too
not
much.
practical. Right?
Yes. For someone that's a beginner and they want to start, they don't really know where to start, and to get a coach, that's too expensive, so they don't start at all.
They don't start at all, correct. So the basic premise is this. We used to run a coaching education course that was $1,000 US, right? And over 5,000 coaches around the world have been through that course, okay? Today, we give that coach away at no cost to the world. It's completely free for everybody. That coach is available in English, in Hindi, in Spanish, in Russian, in Arabic. We will ultimately go into French and German and other languages. So in other words, we'll have free education that was once $1,000, democratizing it for the entire world, right? So no cost. Now, we need to clearly, like all commercial entities, make a profit. This is a requirement of all companies. So how we make money is this. You can watch the free materials for free. But if you have a question, historically, how we monetized it as a company was you would book in and talk to a human consultant ask your questions for a fee per hour.
Okay.
We're replacing that human interaction with an AI agent. All right. So rather than a $200 an hour consult, you would pay $20 a month to have your questions answered.
Okay.
So the first step.
Sorry, is it per question or
No, per month.
Per month, okay.
Per month. So the first step in the process would be providing world-class educational content at no cost.
Yes.
But it's one-way information. It's a video.
Yes.
Yeah. We're able to leverage AI-generated video content so we can speak multiple languages.
Of course.
Yep. When you watch the video, there's no cost, but when you ask questions, you need to pay $20 a month to ask those questions.
For people that want to get a little bit deeper in their information, for example, or they have their own specific needs that need to be met, they're not able to find the correct position where they can squat comfortably, something like that.
What I would argue is everybody that goes through our course has questions.
Right.
Now, the question is unique to the individual. Yes, but everybody has questions.
Yes.
For some people, it's going to be a supplementation. For someone, it will be about nutrition. For others, about training practices. For others, it will be about enhancement practices. Clearly, enhancement is part of professional bodybuilding, and we cover this as well. Yeah. But the reality is that everybody has questions, right? So we make not only the process of learning free, we make the ability to interact with a world-class education authority affordable for everyone. Now, starting out, we're focusing on the mass markets of India and Latin America and Russia and places like this because there's a need, but people cannot afford the product. So this is where we begin, right? Now, we could very easily simply draw a circle around that and call that a business, okay? So we have a product which we give away for free. We travel to the fitness expos, we sponsor athletes, we engage in marketing to promote the product. There's a free line, and then there's an upsell. It's very easy for most people to understand that business model. The biggest question I get is, why are we tokenizing the products?
Yes.
And unashamedly, the reason we're here at Consensus and the reason we're tokenizing the product is we need to raise capital to help us tell the world our story.
Of course.
Okay. So we need to go to Africa.
Liquidity. So
not so much liquidity, more a marketing budget. Yeah, capital to market. So going to India and telling the Indian bodybuilding world that the product even exists, this costs money.
it costs money.
Yep. So we are traveling to Latin America, we're traveling to Africa, we're traveling to India, we're effectively going to fitness shows and fitness expos this is a crypto expo, but the equivalent exists in our fitness world, and taking sponsored athletes, taking Mr. Olympia competitors, the elite of the world with us, explaining how the tour works costs money to do. So I am selling a token, a digital investment opportunity to people whereby they provide us with marketing capital in return for a speculative investment opportunity that basically works like this. Where most tokens are driven by narrative and hype, and ours is driven by an engine, if people give us marketing capital and we travel and show the world, what will happen is the people that sign up for the AI coach, this revenue stream allows us, rather than putting it in my pocket and basically calling a small business, I'm reinvesting that money back into a crypto token, which drives the price of the token. Because with all crypto tokens, you have two major forces. You have people buying the token and people selling the token.
All right.
And whenever people buying the token is greater than the selling pressure, the value of the token rises. And whenever the selling pressure exceeds the people buying it, the token falls. And this is why Bitcoin goes up and goes down, and every token follows suit. So you can very quickly understand from an investment point of view, we're creating a mechanism where we have a continual demand for the token.
Yes. And the revenue is getting generated and then put back into
and reinvested back into the token. Now, the average person in the fitness community won't even know it's a crypto token. Not that we're hiding it, just from the fact that they don't need to know.
Yes.
Because they basically come to see the tool, they get the free version, so they have the free experience. They go, this is awesome, I'm going to upgrade. They take out a debit card or a credit card, make their $20 a month subscription payment, and I take that revenue stream, that fiat revenue stream, and I reinvest it in the token myself on their behalf.
So the B2C side of things, basically they're not even interacting with the Web3 with Web3 at all.
Because they're not crypto native.
Yeah.
And I'm just being very honest. If we try to communicate that to many people in the fitness, it'll just confuse people.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very easy to explain it to the crypto world because they connect it, but it's a new concept for many fitness. So basically the way it will work is, if you are an investor in our project, if you hold the token as an investment, you have free access to the product.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't have any interest in crypto, if you don't want to know anything about crypto, you can just take out your credit card or your debit card and just pay for it as a product. Now, the benefit that creates for investors is you have a constant stream of people buying the products, the AI coach, that have no interest in crypto. Right? So they're creating a demand engine, but at the same time are very happy because they're getting value from the product in and as of itself.
Right.
Okay, so it's very simple for people to understand. What I would like to show you is we wanted to be able to demonstrate the mechanism to people. So what we did was a couple of months ago went to India and we launched a proof of concept in India. It's not a fully fledged token, it's just to demonstrate the mechanism. Okay. And so how it basically works was we launched a token called Black India, at a nominal value of 300,000 US dollars. Okay. That token today trades at $3.5 million. So it's already more than 10x. Now, it's important to note that 97% of tokens never get to 10x. And 97% of tokens never make it a year. Most tokens fail, they don't succeed, right? So the most important point I would point to is, see these small incremental buys here, right? What these are people that are paying for the token because they want access. So they're paying for access to the coach.
Okay, all right.
They're completely shielded from the fact that this is an investment opportunity.
So this is actually the people that are not crypto native actually buying into.
So if we just look at the transactions and you scroll down the transaction list here, all of the $19 purchases are people that are paying for the coach.
Oh, okay.
Every other transaction, whether it's $40 or $400, is a speculator.
So there's a smart contract that pretty much like ties between your app and the token.
Correct. And so we have this gateway where you enjoy the free content. When you get to the point where you go, okay, I want to opt into the upsell, you can pay with a credit card or you can buy with a crypto token. Now, completely upfront, 99% of people will pay with a debit card, right? But if you are a crypto speculator and you want access to the tool, then you're welcome to it at no cost.
But most people won't be crypto facing anyway.
Not in the fitness space.
Yeah, not in the fitness space.
You understand? there's only about 4% of the world that are crypto natives now. It's a minority community, right? So within the niche of fitness,
I mean, if you look around, not too many people live here.
no, and this is if you look at the traditional Venn diagram where you have two circles that interpose.
Yes.
So the number of people that cross over from fitness to crypto is very small.
Very
right?
small.
Now,
Yes.
I would argue, and we're talking about investment now, there are three big markets in the world. There's make money, there's chasing girls, right? And there's basically fitness, right? So we cross over two. And there is a certain number of people that will fit in that middle. And I would argue that they're best described as the Andrew Tate crowd, right? So they're young guys that want to look good, right? And they're interested in making money. But the reality is that is still a small cross-section of the total bodybuilding, fitness, physique development world, yeah? And so the most important thing that I would basically argue here is what this mechanism does is it creates a means whereby what we have is we have tokens that are sold. So you can see the red cells here, the red cell positions, okay? Even though it fairly aggressively falls in value, right? It always comes back. And the reason it always comes back is you have, on one hand, you have sell pressure from people that want to exit the token and take their profits, but we're balanced out against the constantly incoming stream of people that are buying or investing because they're not buying a token, they're buying access
to the coach.
And so the two things tend to balance each other out, yeah? And so what's happening is I launched this token as a proof of concept, as I said, in India. And over the next 4 months, I will travel now from Hong Kong. So we'll go to Romania's next, the 1st to the 2nd of March. And then we have Dubai, and then we have Miami. And then just before the launch, I think the 1st and 2nd of June is Istanbul.
Nice.
So I will do 4 or 5 crypto shows to show the crypto community what we're building here. And then we launch in June.
Ah, okay. So when it comes to event, it sounds like a lot of your marketing budget will be put into events to start.
Correct.
Where you're going to try to actually acquire.
Let me address why that is, because it's a valid point. But I would argue today there are too many content creators.
Sure.
Right? It's very difficult to break out now as an organic content creator. Guys like Derek Moore-Plates, we mentioned before, is hugely successful in this name, but you have to understand that he kind of broke out in the 2018 timeframe, right? It was about 8 years ago, right? Since that time, the market has become flooded with people. And so what I would argue, the truth is, today you have to pay for attention, right? So you have to go to fitness and expos, you have to pay for a stand, you have to have sponsored athletes, and you have to have paid ads. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't do organic marketing, but what I would argue is it's far more difficult than it once was to create attention for free online in the fitness and in the crypto space. There's just so many people creating content. So,
and also there's a lot of noise.
There's an awful lot of noise.
You mentioned that a lot of the times when it comes to AI, sometimes it hallucinates, and there's a lot of information out there. If you ask it any fitness questions, sometimes it hallucinates and tells you the wrong information. I believe that's also the same when it comes to social media and fitness content creators.
Absolutely.
There's so many out there. If someone wants to learn something about, or even like find out which split works, or what to do in their program, they would have a hard time trying to figure out which information is correct.
I would go one step further. What I would argue is, and understand what I'm about to say is very much aimed at the investor. Okay. I would argue to pull this off, okay, to be successful at this undertaking that I'm taking on, you need to have a number of pieces on the chessboard. Right? It's not a one-piece move.
Of course.
One of the pieces is you need to be the global coaching authority, right? Because as an investor myself, I'm almost 60 years old, I invest in projects myself, right? The question I would ask so far, if someone was making this pitch at me, I would be saying, look, that's a really interesting mechanism. I've never seen a mechanism like that where you have a demand engine that creates like an offset against buy pressure. I really like that. But the challenge is, the truth is, that is only true whilst people use the coach. Okay, so you have to have an audience for the coach. And this is the point I was making, and that is, in order to make that happen, you have to understand I am the global coaching authority. So everybody falls underneath me. So all of the intellectual property that's taught in the coaching academies comes from me. So even though there's a lot of noise out there in the marketplace, it comes back to when you line up the best guys in the world, the elite guys in the world, where are they getting their knowledge from? They get their knowledge directly from me, right?
Okay,
Now,
gotcha.
they may go through an intermediate because I don't do one-on-one coaching. In other words, their coach learned from me.
Awesome.
Right? Now, that's important because that then is the marketing pitch, the story that we need to tell. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, the product is live, right? It's functional. We've demonstrated the mechanism. Now what begins is marketing. And what you need for marketing is you need a great story to tell. And as the global coaching authority, we have a great story to tell, right? And you need capital to tell it. It costs money. So we go to market in June. We sell a percentage of the global token in advance, pre-sales. We will raise 500,000 US dollars in marketing capital. And then what we will do is we will literally do a string of, like I'm doing the crypto shows now, we will do a string of fitness shows, right, leading up to the new year period, the end of 2026,
That's
basically promoting the AI coach. So I do 4 or 5 crypto shows and then switch into fitness marketing mode and go and tell them, and I will take with me elite bodybuilders, because quite bluntly, you go to we went to in November, we went to the world's biggest fitness show in New Delhi, right? Sorry, we went to the world's biggest show in Mumbai. The next one is in New Delhi. And like, you take a Mr. Olympia with you and there are a line of people that want his autograph. We need to sponsor these athletes. These are professional athletes. Yeah.
You want to tie your brand to
our brand is their brand. We are connected to them. We are the educator. They are the elite athlete.
They are your product.
Correct. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
And what I would argue is the modern bodybuilding world is our product. We brought evidence-based education to elite modern bodybuilding 10 years ago in 2015.
Nice. May I ask which territory you're going to go after? So you started you did a pilot in India. Where to next?
Okay. So I would easily argue that the most logical place for us to start is in countries that guys can't afford Western coaches, right? So India is an obvious place to start a pilot, and I would argue Latin America after that. There is a very large body of guys who are interested in Latin America that can't afford $200, $300, $400 a month, but they can afford 20. So I'm putting India, Latin America, Russia at the top of the list. Eventually, we will turn back to the West, right? But it is not my priority, and the reason behind that is we already know there is demand for high quality education at an affordable price point in places like India. You just go there and you talk to the guys and they want to learn. They have a thirst for knowledge. They simply can't afford the cost of getting involved. A good example, we're both from Thailand, would be Thailand, but Thailand is not really a bodybuilding culture.
No, not.
It's a Muay Thai, fight sports culture. Yeah,
martial arts.
Correct. So India is top, and then I would say Brazil, Latin American countries, Russian is there's a very big bodybuilding community there. And I'm just being honest, I don't think anyone minds me saying this, and that is the level of knowledge that you find in those countries is they are behind where we are in the West. Okay, they appreciate that and they appreciate the education. So there's a need for us to deliver a world-class product at an affordable price.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I guess the short summary of that, if I can just put it all together, I would argue it's very difficult not to be able to see where AI is going to have a role to play in coaching the future. As we started, we led with the fact that people are already using ChatGPT, right? It's okay, it's just not great.
No, it's not.
There's room for a better variant of ChatGPT, one that has a curated knowledge base it draws from, yeah? And so we're bringing like the power of artificial intelligence, which obviously has a place, coupled with global authority as the tip of the spear in terms of coaching education at an affordable price point. And we're then multiplying that by being an investment vehicle that young men around the world are interested in. And I would argue that our token has the potential to, and I know it's a big claim, I appreciate, but you have to have big goals in life, right? I believe this token has the potential to replace meme coins because it is a highly volatile environment. The token will unashamedly go up and down. The difference between a meme coin and a tool like ours is it will always come back. So if someone is a speculative investor and they put money in the tool and then they sell and the token plunges, eventually the price comes back, it regenerates, whereas most tokens are finished at that point, they're over, yeah? So it has some of the properties that people like about meme coins. It's like digital gambling, right? It's a high risk, high return, proposition, right? But it removes really all of the risk. And the reason I say that is the only person that can crash this token is me, right? And I won't say the token can't be crashed, but it can only be crashed by the one person who stands to gain the most by being long-lived, yeah? So unashamedly, anyone that's interested from an investment point of view, we have 4 months to demonstrate the mechanism. If anyone has any questions or they would like a one-on-one, a Zoom call or whatever, I'm happy to take that. But the point is, everything is leading to a June launch where we will raise capital by pre-selling part of the token. And I'm simply asked people to give me 6 months, so the tokens are locked for 6 months. You cannot sell those pre-sale tokens for 6 months. That gives me 6 months head start with the marketing to create demand. And I will spend the 6 months from June to the end of the year traveling the fitness shows with my sponsored athletes in tow, promoting the thing, creating enough demand so that when people are ready to exit, they can exit and the token will survive.
Right. May I know how you're going to split the percentage split of the marketing budget? How will you spend?
Sure. So I see this as a multi-year process because it's not an overnight get rich quick scheme. Yeah. So initially, I will sell 10% of the token to speculative early investors. Those 10% of tokens are locked for 6 months. You can't sell them for 6 months. I take the 500,000 and use it as marketing budget. That's pretty straightforward, yeah? 20% of the token, I will lock in my name for 3 years. So if this is my reward for my 10 years of hard work here, but I cannot sell for 3 years, right? What that then gives us is 70% of the token that we can then use to build an affiliate army to help continually marketing the tool. So the initial $500,000 will get us started, right? But it won't reach everyone in the world. That's not a big enough budget to reach everyone in the world. So that basically creates an ongoing revenue stream that I can carefully and strategically dribble into the marketplace, principally through affiliates.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will reach out to influencers and content creators and marketers in the fitness space and in the crypto development world, and I will incentivize them to talk about the project by literally gifting them tokens.
Of course.
What matters here is I need to do that very carefully and very judiciously and very slowly, right? I need to meter out the tokens in such a way that the demand for the AI coach always exceeds whatever that sell pressure is. If I were to simply dump a couple of $1 million into the market, the token would crash. It would come back, ironically, but it wouldn't be a good look for investment, as it were. So yeah, that's the strategy. 10% initially. I use that capital to get the ball rolling. Once it's rolling, I will slowly and judiciously share out tokens to people in both communities in return for them literally promoting and marketing and telling our story to the world.
Gaining more accurate,
correct.
Acquire more.
So ultimately, at some point in the future, let's project ourselves 3 years out from now, all of those tokens will have been into the marketplace and redeemed, yeah? And I will have my 20% of the token and then I get paid 3 years from now.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate the opportunity to tell our story. It was very good.
If they want to follow you or contact you, how would they?
So we, as I mentioned, we have 4 months now to continue to tell our story.
Right.
So what I would encourage everybody to do is to go to our website, which is www.virtualvictor.ai. Yeah. And at Virtual Victor, you can try the coach. Like, I think the best thing before you invest would be to go through the process of, let me experience what the end user experiences. So try the coach, and then that puts you in a position so at June you could say, look, I only invest myself in products that I use. Yeah, if I try a product and I go, I couldn't see myself using that, I don't buy it. Yeah, I don't invest in it as an investor. I think that most of the investors that come into the project will be people who have actually been through the process of being a customer. They've watched the free materials, they've paid the $20 to access Virtual Victor. Clearly, this is not a requirement. It's not a qualifier. It's just, I think it's the best way to get investors, because in all likelihood, those investors will not sell at 6 months.
Yeah,
They're probably in it for the long haul.
exactly.
Right?
They're using it. They're gaining knowledge. Yeah.
So there will be two types of investors: people that are just in it for the return, and I don't think they'll necessarily be from our world, from the fitness world. And there'll be people that go, no, I understand this could be a revenue opportunity for the next 5 years for me. Yeah. And those guys will be guys that go through the process as a client.
Yes.
As it were. So yeah, at virtualvictor.ai is the place to get all your information.
All right. Fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.